Greetings, dear ones. Hope your day is good. This is something to talk about prematurity. In this video, I'm just trying to cover something that's very important topic in our lives, where we actually may misunderstand the spiritual journey and spiritual evolution. Things are not as it seems. We may be reading books, we may be looking into the life insights of many masters, many role models who have lived in a certain way, and trying to imbibe that in our lives. But there is a certain something called as practical spirituality. Spirituality, one is that we learn, we understand, we gain the wisdom and the knowledge and try to apply it. The trying to apply it is where we call the practical wisdom. One is just having the knowledge of it, wisdom of it, and being filled with a lot of knowledge. And we might be very intelligent, we might be very much full of wisdom and wise persons, having all this knowledge. That's one thing, that's one aspect. But its true application in practical terms is what I call as practical spirituality. And all that helps is not really spirituality, but practical spirituality. Prematurity is one such. It's a normal trend. It's you can see it everywhere, that we try to become something which we are not most of the time. We may read it from the books, or we may look at the instructions from our own masters, or we may look into the lives of great masters, or we might learn it from somebody else. Examples are something like, if I am not ready yet, I shouldn't be actually enacting it. I should always go the natural way, the natural process, something that we call as Sehaj, pake, meetha. Something that ripens naturally is sweet. This is what it means. This is what my Gurudev always said. Sehaj, pake, meetha means let things happen naturally and gradually to you, than trying to jump lanes and taking a shortcut and trying to achieve something which is not in your natural course of life. For example, if I try to become an ascetic, if I try to renounce life, when I still have vasanas, when I have still certain tendencies and impressions within me that is looking for an expression, then it is not right to avoid that or to dodge that and to become a renunciate. That is why it is very clearly told by many masters, don't try to become a renunciate or a sannyasi without having experienced that life, because, and it's not a hard and fast rule that they say. It doesn't mean that every single person on this earth must become a householder. It doesn't mean that. It is, if you have the tendencies, if you have those impressions within you, if you have certain vasanas, if you have those cravings, if you have those pending desires, then they have to be fulfilled. As simple as that. How do you fulfill? By living life in a certain way. So it is for certain people who have those tendencies. But those who are done with it, already done with it, you cannot again force them to become a householder. Like for example, there are many ascetics that I see, many yogis, many sannyasis who are completely detached, who are completely renounced from within. Okay, this is what I am telling you. It's not the wisdom that makes them a renunciate. It is they themselves. They are ripe for it. They have become ripe for it. And they have chosen that. They have chosen that not out of wisdom or out of somebody else's knowledge. They have chosen it very spontaneously. It has happened to them. Renunciation is something that should happen to you, not that you choose. You cannot choose. Choosing is artificial. This is what I am calling as practical spirituality. We got to be practical on this. So, those sannyasis who are there, who are completely withdrawn from the world, who don't need anything in this world, and they are completely aloof in their own space, in solitude, in the mountains, in the hills, in the caves, and in the forests, and in the lakes, under the lakes. They are all such yogis also. Now they have reached that stage, so it is fine. It's done for them. You cannot ask somebody like that to come back to the world and say that no, you got to live your life here completely and then only you can be. You can't. It has happened to them. So this hard and fast rule doesn't apply to everybody. We cannot generalize it. It changes from person to person. So it is just like, if you try to, if somebody is ripe and you are trying to pull them back and tell them, you got to be this way. It's like waking up a person who's sleeping and reminding him to take his sleeping pills. You're waking that person who's deep asleep and then you're telling it's time for you to take your medicine. It's as stupid as that. So, no, I'm not saying that I am a renunciate. I am not. See, I am in this world because I have some sort of tendencies and I am going very naturally with this. I am going very spontaneous. Whatever is there in me, I am trying to express it in my life. I'm finding, my life is trying to find an expression through it. If I feel like dancing, I dance. Why do I dance? Because there is a certain tendency, vasana, of dancing in me. If I crave for attention, I seek it. There is nothing like, oh, I shouldn't, and I shy, or I think. This is wisdom. Oh, I shouldn't do this. I should do this. I shouldn't. Do's and don'ts. So, I shouldn't be this way. I want to dance, and then I say, no, it's not right. What will people say? Hey, you're dancing like that, man. You're a spiritual person. You're supposed to be evolved. Evolution, spiritual evolution has nothing to do with these things. It is again wrong conceptions. You got to find your life expression. If I feel like singing, I sing. If I feel like talking or expressing certain things, I do that. If I feel my ego has to boost up something or to show up something, express the ego in some certain way, I do that. Maybe a selfie, take a nice selfie and do that. Now I don't say no, egoistic people and spiritual people. It doesn't match. As being a spiritual people, I shouldn't have ego. That's all these damn notions. You are not then living your life completely. You are not giving expression to what your life is seeking. Why did you take this janma? Why did you take this body? Why did you take this birth? Because there were many unfulfilled desires or unfulfilled expressions or vasanas or tendencies, whatever you call them. They were not expressed. That is why you took another birth. So if you don't do that in this life, you are going to come back to do that here. So this is understanding spirituality. Right? This is understanding what is all this life about. What are we come here to do? Find an expression. Find the fulfillment of those desires. Once you are fulfilled, then you go further. Once you understand the science, nothing will stop you. You will just be spontaneous. You will just be the way you are. And you will not be bothered about what anybody thinks about. Because if anybody thinks something about you, then that's the wrong spirituality notions that they have. That's just another belief system that they have. It's not a practical understanding of spirituality. So those who understand you will not judge you. They will see you from what angle you are doing what and all that. And all that it matters is such people in your life who don't judge you, because you know that they vibe well with you. This is real true spirituality. And those who don't vibe, you get to know how much spiritual. This is how we know who is spiritual, how much. Not by the do's and don'ts. So this is what I mean by premature. It can be anything. Anything. Like for example, in the mystical mystics, we have so many avadhuts, we have so many mystics who have reached that state and talk of the highest wisdom. Now, gaining that wisdom is one thing, and preaching about it is one thing, and living it is another thing. Anybody can gain wisdom, anybody can read books, anybody can read these posts and be influenced by it, be inspired by it, motivated by it. That's another thing. But being motivated and trying to become that is falseness, which is hypocrisy. Now, if you are not aware of these things, you will get caught in it. I'm telling you. For example, Ramana Maharshi, the great mystic, he always was a man of silence. So he said, silence, mauna, don't talk also anything. You don't need to talk. You just need to be silent. Now, if I have expressions within me of talking or behaving a certain way, whatever, singing, whatever life is seeking, and then I say, no, a mystic has said this, so I must restrain now. It is hatha. It is forceful doing, and you will not enjoy that life, I am telling you. Anything that you forcefully try to do, forcefully trying to do means becoming that which you are not. means hypocrisy. That's what I'm calling hypocrisy. So I'm not a silent person. There is so much of volcano within me. I have so much to talk all the time. I'm talking about people in general. There is so much within to talk. There is so much within to express. There is so much that is the life is seeking expression. And then I learn this teaching and say, no, I should become silent. Such silence will be a torture. Right? You try to become silent and see what your mind does. It will create havoc. And then there will be no peace. Then you'll say that I'm trying to become that. It's not, because many people try to be. These teachings are, it's so tough, it's so difficult. If it's tough, it's not meant for you. Wait. What? The teaching is not for you. No, the teaching is for you. Then I can't follow it. You can't follow it, but you have a motive. You have a goal now. You are seeing something of your future, a possibility. These teachings are a possibility. See them as a possibility, not as a reality when they are not in your reality. That's the catch. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And if somebody is talking about deep awareness is everything. In awareness you go in this state, or if they are talking about turiya, you remain blissful all the time. Now you try to do that, you cannot. But if you see that as a certain possibility, you will work towards it practically. How will you work towards becoming blissful? Be practical by using common sense. How do we become blissful? Simple funda is that we got to empty our minds. Only when the mind is empty can it go into silence, can it become blissful in nature. So becoming practical spirituality is first trying to give expressions to that, fulfilling all that. Why the mind is struggling with so many things? Because it's seeking an expression, seeking fulfillment. So fulfill those things, complete it, give completeness to those psychic impressions which are there, to those vasanas. Now when I say vasanas give completion, it doesn't mean enhance it or relish it. No, give an expression but become aware, and at the same time simultaneously work it out, so that it is not bottled up in the name of spirituality. Many people suffer. I'm seeing so many suffering and torturing themselves, and these are the ones who become very different. They are in a certain space of, this is how a spiritual person should be, or this is how a community person should be, and they have those definitions, and they try to become that which they are not. And everybody moves around with a fake identity, a fake personality, pretending to be something. It is all pretension. The moment they get an expression or an opportunity, you must see how they release it. I've seen this. Like for example, if we say one of the spiritual quality is not getting angered. No angry, there is no reaction within you. That's a certain possibility, future possibility. Now if somebody says, oh, spiritual person don't get angry, and then what happens next time you are triggered by something and you suppress it, what happens? In the name of spirituality, you have completely suppressed it. Suppressed that was seeking an expression, and it would have got probably a nice expression or a positive expression. It would have been released out of your system. But this definition of spirituality, what we did was we suppressed it. Now what has happened? It is bottled up inside. So imagine so many things in the name of spirituality we do. Anger, greed, lust, all these kind of emotions, everything. Lust, I shouldn't be having any kind of lust because I'm a spiritual person. You control your lust. You control your sexual urges. See what will happen? Bottle up. And the moment it gets an opportunity, it will just explode like a volcano. That lust will explode like anything. That anger will explode like anything. And then you will be very depressed. Why depressed? Because you did not behave the way you expected yourself to behave. Because you had a certain notion that spiritual person are not this way. And now you have exploded. So you yourself condemn and judge yourself, saying that I am not a spiritual person, I am not a good person, I cannot be a good person. Can you see the catch? Why? Because we have been trying to live spirituality. Trying to live spirituality is one thing, and living it is another thing. So there are so many expressions, dear ones. There are so many expressions, so many concepts that we have in spirituality, especially the great high concepts. So when I'm talking Vedanta, I'm in my practical senses, I'm grounded. When I'm talking Aham Brahmasmi, I know it's a wisdom, certain wisdom in me. I know it's not a complete experience. Maybe I'm having glimpses of it. But I don't try to make it a 24-hour kind of a business by staying in that. Or expressing or creating an identity or a personality like that. You will be troubled, I'm telling you. People ask me, hey, how can you do this here? I don't expect you to do this. Do what? You dance like that. It's so odd. Odd for you because you have certain notions on that. It's my expression. If I have a certain vasana and I want to express it out, I'll do it without any hesitation. No, absolutely not. I don't judge myself. So these are notions which, so that shows you what is that person bottling up, because you're pretending to be something like that. So when I see many people love these things, they see the conflicts. They say, how can you do that? But then they say, you seem to be enjoying so much. I love that laughter on your face, the smile, the way you are relishing. That is what life is about. You are relishing. You are giving that a complete expression. You are living that. Probably you are not doing that. But see, when somebody else is doing that, you are getting that joy. Somebody's freedom is giving you that joy. They tell me, you are moving so freely, you are living the life the way you want and all. It's beautiful, so nice. But you keep it to yourself. Are you enjoying what I'm doing? Enjoying? You are enjoying means you are unable to enjoy it yourself. You are unable to express it yourself, but you are seeing the expression in somebody else and that's giving you joy. Can you see that? And then opposite you are claiming that you shouldn't be doing that. See what a torture, what a prison we live in. Practical spirituality, guys. Be grounded. Be grounded. So there are many such notions. Today morning I was meditating and all these things were expressing itself in that meditation. Many things were coming up, surfacing up. So in meditation also, if something comes up, we bottle it up and say, no, as a meditator I'm not supposed to do that. Why? Because I've read it somewhere. Meditation is complete blankness. So then you try to achieve that blankness and you try to become blank, which you are not. Understand it's a milestone. All these teachings and preachings are milestones. For example, I'm traveling so much. You're not supposed to travel. What is there to travel inside, outside? Everything is within. Even my master says that everything is within. Even Bhagavan Nityananda said everything is within. You actually need not go there. But they are in that stature, my dear ones, please understand. They are talking from that point of evolution where they have reached that state. If you have seen, there are many masters who have traveled, even my own master has, for years they have spent traveling and meditating in places until they realized it. Okay, it's not needed anymore. Now, if I have not reached that state and I try to become that and boast like, it's been told that, you need not go, everything is, I have seen many people telling me, bahar kya hai, sab andar hai, and I see they are andar, what is there andar? It's full of confusions and doubts and frustrations and anger, unfulfilled desires. Go and express it out, dear ones. Why are you suffocating yourself in the name of teachings and preachings? Teachings are meant to be milestones for you. It will give you a target. It will give you where you are supposed to go. It will show you a path of where the masters walked. They did not become overnight perfect masters. They had a journey. Look at their journey. I don't look at their peak point only. I don't look at all the masters and mystics. I don't see an avdut and say, oh wow, an avdut, you should be living like that. What a state. I should achieve that state. It is stupidity to even think that way. How can you achieve that? So if you see an avdut, do you think that's there only? Can you even fathom their previous janmas of what all they must have gone through? Hundreds of lifetimes of what all that they have had, even what you and me are, they were also there in one stage. It's an evolution, it's a process, it's a gradual process. You cannot jump, you cannot take shortcuts. So please have mercy on yourself in case because questions are coming on those kind. This is not happening, that is not happening. It's not happening because you're trying to make it happen. So, whatever you read, just don't go by that. Somebody says talking or writing is futile. There's no point speaking so much. There's no point expressing so much. Everything is within, and go within, deep within, turn inward, and you'll find everything there. You try doing it, it will not happen. Why it's not happening? Because there are all these tendencies which are trying to find fulfillment. So fulfill them, and in awareness, ensure that fulfillment doesn't turn into a addiction or something that becomes very repetitive, cyclic. So you got to come out of that cycle. That's what all this life is about. It's about breaking patterns. It's about how do you break patterns. You don't break it by force, by will. All the time will doesn't work. Will is a certain discipline that you are bringing to make an application of the wisdom in your life. It's a certain discipline that you are putting in. You cannot directly force and cut off everything. If that was so easy, then just imagine, just by will and force, everybody would have just illumined themselves by sitting and saying, no, this will not happen. Khatam. I am done. I've reached there. I've gone there. I don't need to do all that. So, I cannot buy those theories. So, please do not try to put guilt in me at least. That, spirituality says that you are doing this. You're not supposed to travel. Everything is within. For you, if it is within, sit home. For me, it is not yet. And I'm telling you, I'm not ready. If you want to hear this, let me tell you, I'm not ready yet. If you think this did not happen, that did not happen, it should have been this way, there is ego, I accept it. Because there is ego only, I am able to do a lot of things with that ego. So, don't expect me to be egoless. Because that's, again I'm telling you, you do not understand what is egolessness. It's good. See, wisdom is very good. Gyan batna bahut easy hai. Living it is another thing. Preaching is very easy about ego. You shouldn't have ego. What do you mean you shouldn't have ego? Do you even know what is not having ego? If you do not have ego right now, I'm telling you, you will drop dead. Drop dead. Because ego is what is making you move, live, everything. And why do you have ego? Because you have all these unfulfilled expressions, the desires which you have taken birth for. You mean to say you have taken birth with all this quota and you are not supposed to have ego to fulfill that? How is that? It's so conflicting. It cannot be that you are egoless with all these things. So it feels good to behave that way. I'm egoless. I have no ego. No, I shouldn't show my ego. I shouldn't show anything that's egoistic, like including all your selfie. No, this sounds very egoistic for a spiritual person. What will people say? See, this guy is trying to always. Let people understand their spirituality. You understand your spirituality. How is that going to help you? Practical spirituality, guys. So, live it. Live that wisdom by giving an expression to whatever is coming. One is like you are saying that, I have the freedom to do anything and everything. No, that's not wisdom then. The Viveka is not yet born in you. That's why all these balanced things are there within us. Awareness, that's what I am talking about. Shifting into awareness. I'm trying to tell you, you live a natural life, a grounded life in awareness. Means it's conscious living. So you're consciously aware of all these tendencies within you. So it doesn't overwhelm you. Nor does it depress you. You are handling it and you are allowing yourself to get ripened. Sehaj pake so meetha. So I'm telling you, if you say that no, it should have been that way, I should have been this way, and this is why this thing did not happen to this person or that person, it's okay. I'm saying I'm not ready. Probably because I was not ready, things did not happen. It's fine. I take this for that, the responsibility for that. Why? Because it's my stuff. I got to deal with it. And I am going in a Sehaj pattern. I am going in the spontaneous, natural way. Why I am talking about my journey here is because I am relating it to you. You will be able to relate when I talk about my journey. You will clearly understand, these are similar patterns. I am telling you, you and me are not different. It's all the same old story. Stories are different, but the patterns are all the same. The methodology is all the same. The happenings are the same. The experiences are almost the same. So it's the same old story. That's why I talk about my life experience, because I try to live. I'm telling you, I try to live it rather than just showing it off. I have a lot of wisdom, I'm telling you. I can sit and for hours and talk to you about wisdom, but that's another thing. I'm telling you, I share wisdom, but plus I share awareness about that wisdom. Be aware of that. Be aware of whatever you read, but don't try to become that. Allow yourself to become that in the time. Let time take its course. Don't be in a hurry because if you're in a hurry and you fix targets like, in another 1 year I'm going to get enlightened, then you are heading for a lot of troubles. Mind you, I'm telling you. So, and already the messages are very clear from the ascended masters, from the higher realms, that we can accelerate our evolution, and we can reduce our births, or maybe even finish it in one lifetime if you become completely aware of these patterns. Finish one pattern, and immediately, the moment you finish one pattern, if you have become aware and you have given attention to it, and if that pattern dissolves, the next pattern comes to you for solution, for resolving itself. This is how you live, one by one, and keep on living. So there is no hurry. And if a pattern comes to you, you live it. You don't shove it away and put a different mask. Don't do that. I'm telling you, you will torture yourself. It's a big problem. These are from my life experience. I'm telling you, practical spirituality, practical experience. You will have it if you try to do that. I'll share one more beautiful message from the higher realms that came right into my lap, and that shows whatever I was thinking was exactly the same. So it's like, the nature, the universe wants to, the cosmos always confirms to you certain details when you are in certain kind of doubt, because I also get in doubt. More I mingle with people, the more doubtful I become. I'm sure of that. That is why I don't mingle with anybody, especially the rigid belief systems. I don't get into any systems because there is so much of rigidity there, and there is so much of this is not right, that is not right. There's so much of guilt inducing. I've seen that. Whenever I come close to any system, there is like full of guilt. Oh, you didn't do this. You should have been done with this. This is how you should have lived, and this is how we have lived, and this is how the patterns are designed, and this is how. I cannot live that. It's suffocating for me. So these are systems, because if I'm not ready for it, I cannot just adapt and become that. So I live in my own space. The company matters, whom you talk with. So I don't allow myself to go into such places or such people and then invite trouble or invite guilt into myself. I don't even see. I've stopped seeing all kind of scripts or all kind of videos that I've attempted to put guilt into me. I've seen the systems. I can see the patterns very clearly. This is nothing. This is not unconditional love. This is nothing for my highest good. This is for somebody's highest good, and this is all trying to put a certain kind of guilt into my head. That's wrongdoing. This is not right. This is my viveka is enough to. The inner system is enough. The inner Guru Tattva is enough to give that guidance in awareness and in deep meditation, or in meditation, on contemplation, on reflections. That much is enough. That much we have the capability. So I don't depend on outer systems to tell me what is right and wrong. I depend on my inner system. So what I've done is I've ironed out seeing any kind of videos and any kind of text that doesn't relate, that tries to only put the aspect of greed and fear. So that's what I'm trying to say. We must stay away from these kind of even scripts or books or friends or anything that induces shame, guilt, greed, fear within us. Absolutely no. You cannot have a clear-cut spirituality with that. It's suffocation. So I'll share that message also today or tomorrow. That it's a page. That book landed into my lap. I opened it, and that was the reading that was there. It's very clear. Don't please ask me where that book and what. It's not necessary. It's not important. When we go into details, we lose the message. And including these videos that I put here, don't focus much on the person, the individuality that you see here, or the ego. It's not. It doesn't matter. whether somebody has ego. Catch the message, not the messenger. Avoid the messenger always, whoever the messengers. Catch the message, that's very important. So with this, I wish you lots of faster evolution with your actual practical spirituality, practical way of living. Remember, there's no right or wrong. There's no certain way. Everybody has a certain right and wrong, and everybody is right on a certain. Everybody is supposed to be in a certain place. They are supposed to be that. You are in a certain phase of life because you are destined to be that way. That was the path that you have chosen. That is the way that you have chosen. The way you have asked yourself permission. You have given yourself that permission to live that way. It's your doing, and it can be your undoing. It's all how you consciously walk your path, in full awareness that you walk your path. That's very important. So this video is completely on no prematurity in your life, and if you want to do that, but don't impose it on others. Like, don't write to me saying that this is not right or you should have done that. The teaching says this and the mystic says that, you try to be, I cannot be. So I live life very naturally and spontaneously. I would prefer, or I would advise or suggest that you live. If you can take that, very well and good. If not also, it's up to you. It's your free choice, your free will. So with this, I take your leave. Lots of divine love and light to all of you. Gurudev Sharanam. Guru Mandala Sharanam.